Good morning and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today as always. Smash that like button and subscribe. Yeah, I know you haven't heard anything yet, but you're going to like it. Everything I give you guys, and if there's some girls out there, is something to help you improve your life, to move you closer to whatever you deem to be success. Do you have a vision? Do you have a goal? Do you have a written goal? If you don't, you need to write one down now. It becomes real. It becomes tangible when you put it on paper and look at it every day and think of it as already having that goal. Feel what that would be like. Live as if you already had what you desire. Today's topic is going to be reading. Readers are leaders. Sometimes these old expressions, these adages have a lot of value, a lot of meaning to them. But too many times we just say, oh yeah, readers are leaders. And we don't think about it. As I've said before, most people don't think. They only think they think. They don't really think, contemplate, ponder, meditate upon certain things, about things that happen in their life. But readers are leaders. What do I mean by that? There's something about reading that exercises your mind. I read a lot of books, and I have read a lot of books. I just bought the biography of Andrew Carnegie. I did read How to Win Friends and Influence People by, I think that was by Dale Carnegie. I don't think it was by Andrew. Anyway, but I've never read about the life of Andrew Carnegie. The reason I wanted to read about it is because he was a great philanthropist. He gave away most of his money while he was living. He was worth about $250 million, which would be about 5.1, I think it said, or $7 billion today, which he gave away all of it except for, I think it was about 30 million. Don't quote me on that. I'm just going by memory what I read. So I'm very interested in his life because I believe in philanthropy. And I believe that whatever you give away in life will come back to you. So if you want money, give money away. Yes, that's counterintuitive. It doesn't make sense. But exactly with what I'm doing today, how could me trying to help you be any value to me? Well, you might think, well, yeah, someday down the road you hope that people will pay you. And yeah, Mark, you have a website where you offer counseling for a certain amount of money an hour. Yes, that's true. But that is not the focus of what I'm doing here. I know that by giving you value or by giving you information that can make your life better, invariably, that makes my life better. And it comes back to me multiplied. Whatever I give to you freely, because I don't expect anything back from any of you. If I get something back from you, if you want to make a donation, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. I don't care. Well, I mean, I enjoy money. I like money like everyone. Don't get me wrong. But what I like is the feeling I get from doing this. And when you think about it, why do you want the money? Why do you want money? Because you think that with that money, you can buy something that will make you feel a certain way. Or just having the money will make you feel secure. And that's a whole nother video I could do there. Security and money, financial security. There is no such thing as financial security from money, from a certain amount of money. I know people who have a lot of money who are very financially insecure. Excuse me. Let's take, for example, during the Civil War, the South had the Confederate money. And one day they woke up and guess what? It wasn't worth anything. Think about that. You could wake up tomorrow and all the money you have in the bank and all the money you have could be valueless. That has happened before. Did you ever read about the big run on the banks back in the 20s, I think it was? Like I said, I don't know if these dates are correct. You can look it up in history. But the banks closed, the banks went under, and people had money in the banks, and guess what? They couldn't get their money because it was gone. The banks had loaned it all out. Everything went to hell. That was, I think, the crash before the Big Depression, the Great Depression. So you're never going to find security in money. Now, it's always good to have a prudent reserve, some money put back, as I do if things get a little slow, or to make payroll when the cash flow gets kind of clogged up. That'll give you a certain sense of relaxation where you're not focusing on lack. But to think that your life is secure because you have a certain amount of money, whether it be $1 million, 10 million, 150 million, $500 million, $10 billion, is a fallacy. Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, any of those men could go out the house today and someone could shoot them. Or they could have an accident in a car and be crippled for the rest of their life. Or they could die in the accident. Now, money could help them if they live to get good medical care, but it doesn't secure your safety and your life. That security has to come from within you. It has to come from within you. That's why they say it's harder for harder for a man to pass through the, I know the phrase, but I can't remember it, so I won't say it. But it's difficult for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Well, I believe the kingdom of heaven is within, and the kingdom of heaven is just a place of peace. It's not a physical place. This is my beliefs. You don't have to believe that. But I've lived in heaven on earth. As a matter of fact, if I think about it, I'm living in a heaven on earth at this very moment. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I have healthy children. I'm healthy. I've had a good life. I've had a lot of adventures. A lot of things didn't seem so good when it happened, but it turned out to get me to where I am today, where I'm doing exactly what I love to do and what I want to do. This is what I love to do, is to encourage, inspire, to enlighten people, to build people up. And I love my painting company. I love working physically. These things give me fulfillment. But back to the reading. Reading exercises your brain. Some books I've read more than once. Some of them I've listened to over and over and over again. Now, listening is good because when I'm working, I can listen to books. I can listen to audio, to books, to YouTube creators, which are in line with what I want in my life, what I desire. And listening is good, but controlled and focused listening is better. That's where you sit down and you listen to the words. You focus on the words. You can even repeat the words in your mind after each one is said if you really want to get an impression. But I still don't believe that's as good as reading. There's something about reading that actually exercises your brain. It puts a better picture into your brain. And when you get the vision in your brain of you doing something that maybe someone you admire is doing or becoming, you can pick up the character traits. It's the next best thing to actually spending time with this person. You can actually spend time with the great people who have passed on by reading their books. You know their thoughts. They can pass these on to you. They don't actually have to be here. And it's the same way if you watch YouTube with creators that are in line with what you desire in life or who you want to be. Because before you can have, you must be. And to be, you must become different on the inside. You must evolve in consciousness. And how do you do that? Well, they say people think, they, the infamous they, whoever they are, statistically, they say that people have about 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day. But most people, and I don't know what the percentage is, think the same thoughts today they thought yesterday. And then the next day, ad infinitum. So their life never changes because every action is preceded by a thought. If you don't change your thinking, guess what else doesn't change? Your actions don't change. Your thinking creates your actions create your life. So, if you don't put anything different in, such as reading or listening to books or listening to YouTube creators, then your thinking doesn't change. You have to put new information in. And I believe the best way to put that information in is reading. The second best way is listening. Or actually writing. Journaling is good for yourself so you can look at your life and see how it goes. I've never been much for journaling. There have been times in my life where I have done it, but it's not my way. Some people do. Some people swear by it. Every person is different. Just like everything I offer you here, any suggestions or ideas that I offer you, you need to try them and maybe they'll work for you, maybe they won't. Everyone is different. Everyone responds and reacts to different techniques differently than other people. That's why there is no one right way for everybody, because everybody is different. Everybody has a different perception. So try these things. But in general, you can see how different people become successful in what they do. And that's where comes the old adage, leaders are readers. And I believe that to be true. So if you're not reading, some people don't pick up another book after they get out of school. I only read one set of books when I was in school, besides for what I was forced to read, and that was The Hobbit. I was about 15 years old when I read that. After that, I never read anything until, I read a little bit. I read a little bit of the Bible off and on through my life. I read a book on boxing when I started boxing, Curtis Coates. It was a short book. I read that when I started boxing because I needed information. But later on in life, when I was about 30, I started reading quite a bit. I did read one other book before that by a Russian about mental training when I was boxing to visualize winning, to visualize the technique I wanted to use during boxing. So anytime I wanted to learn something, I picked up a book and started reading. Reading is so important. It exercises your brain the same way your muscles get exercised when you go to the gym. So remember that. Pick up a book, find something that interests you. Even if it's fiction, it still creates pictures. It allows you to develop that ability to create visions or pictures in your mind. And if you get a picture in your mind of what you desire, as if you are experiencing it, and think about that picture over and over and over again, it will come to pass. And let me read something that Nicola Tesla wrote. It's here on my wall. I look at it quite often. If you wish to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. Hold the thoughts for a prolonged period of time and practice becoming the vibrational match to what you want. It is written in every spiritual text since the beginning of time. So that was Nicola Tesla. If you know who he is, he was a great genius. He was a master of electricity. I believe he actually could have done things that would have made Edison look like a schoolboy. But Edison was a businessman, and Nicola was more of a visionary. He wanted to provide free electricity to everyone, but Edison wanted to make money. So we have Edison as the creator of the light bulb, when in reality, I'm not sure if he was or not. But that's what the school books teach us. So there again, don't believe everything you read, and don't believe everything you see, because that is from your senses, which are many times false. They are good. They keep us from burning our hands on a stove, and they keep you from walking out in front of cars. The evidence of the senses, yes, can be trusted and needed to be in many aspects. But when it comes to envisioning your future, do not base your progress on the evidence of the senses or the facts. Facts are interchangeable. Facts can change. Facts can be molded. Everything that you see is a fact today, like me on this camera, the device you're watching me on. That at one time was only a vision within the mind of someone. You have visions within your mind. The only thing that stops them from coming to fruition is your fear, your disbelief in yourself, your limiting beliefs. And how do you overcome those limiting beliefs? By stepping into the fear, by taking the first step or action towards bringing your vision into a material reality, whatever that happens to be. Okay, I'm going to cut it off today, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me, and if you'd like to get my help personally, you know the deal, marksinspiration.com. Share this with a friend if you think it will be of value to them. I'll see you tomorrow.